Okay. um, so, can you start by introducing yourself? Um, yeah.
In introducing myself, do I just my name or a bit about my background?
Yeah. Just your name, um, and then we'll get into
Okay.
background.
Okay. My name is Fred Patrick.
You can look in my
Okay.
eyes.
My name is Fred Patrick.
And tell me about a little bit about your childhood, like where where you were born, where you grew up, your family, like dynamics.
Uh, I was born in Akwa Ibom State, and later we moved to Lagos when I was that was in 1991. When I moved to Lagos, I was very small then. And we moved into Lagos in a very small community, a slum community, very rough and rugged area. So I grew up there. Yeah.
Which community?
I grew up in Badia East. It's popularly known as Chora Railway Line.
And you moved with. Did you move with your whole family?
Yes, I moved in there with my mom, my dad, my siblings. I have four siblings, and they are all girls. I'm the only man, the only guy, and the first son, the first and the only son. Yeah.
And what was? Can you describe? Well, first, how old were you when you moved? You're very small.
I was very small. Yeah, very
Okay.
small.
And describe like your memories of the environment you were in Badia East when you moved. Like, what were the? When you think back on that time, what are some of the memories or stories that stay with you that describe that place you were in?
So at the time we moved into Badiawa East, there was no police station there. The place was very rough, like I said. Very rough. When I mean rough is you see people living anyhow, fighting, injuring themselves, and police cannot even come to the place to come and arrest people because of how rough and rugged the place was. There was a time that some of the guys in the community they fought with some soldiers and they injured some of the soldiers. They went to police station. Police could not come into the community because of how rough it was. So
And how did that? I'm not sure if you remember your state of mind before you moved, but how do you think that environment shaped your perspective on life and shaped you as a person, like at that time?
well, in the community, because of the how the place was, when I started school, like my primary school, I hardly find somebody that can help me with my homework because virtually most people there are not educated. So when I come back home with my homework, I'll be looking around. My parents are not educated either. So I'll be looking for somebody to assist me do my homework. Nobody. I will just sit all by myself trying to do my homework by myself, and it was something that was really disturbing me. That most times I'll be thinking, I wish there's somebody to assist me. I wish I have somebody like a grown up, like a brother or a grown up sister who can assist me with my homework. So that's with that mindset. I actually don't want my siblings to grow up to experience same. So I usually isolated myself from my friends. Though I have friends, a lot of them, but I isolated myself from them and I study. I ask questions. If there's anything I don't know, I look for somebody who can explain to me, and when once they explain it, I try as much as I can not to forget it. So that was what kept me going.
And what was your relationship with the community in general? Like, how did you interact with the community? I understand it was a place where you saw a lot of things happening, wahala, and
Yes,
things.
it actually it has a way of it affected me in the sense that at a point, I think that was when I was in primary 4. I find it difficult to go to school. That my mom would be chasing me all around. Hey, hey, hey! You must go to school. You must. So I lost interest in school. I choose to go with friends, play from one place to another. We move, playing around. That my mom became very worried that the only son that she has is turning into something else. She even pay people like like older guys in the streets to look for me. Yeah, they will, when they get me, they will bundle me to my mom. My mom will cry, cry, cry. So what is wrong with me? Why do I want to be wayward? Why do I want to become a tout? Why do I want to become a tout? That she wants me to go to school. She will talk to me, I will start crying, and I'll promise to be a good person. The next morning, I'll be out. So the community has a way of it's influenced me. So in 2000 and because of how serious it was becoming of me not usually at times most times I don't sleep at home at that age. So in 1997,
What age? Sorry, what age is this?
I think I was actually born in 1984. So around 1987, I should be
84.
yes.
84. Okay.
Yeah,
So
should
you're
be about 13 years. Yeah. So in 1987, because of how stubborn, I became very stubborn, and I fight a lot.
Fighting.
Like fighting in the streets, like street fights. I fight. So my mom believed that I was kind of possessed, that there's some evil spirit manipulating me. That is why that because I'm being the only son, that maybe they probably don't want me to become something good in future. That's why they are manipulating me to become wayward, to be living that kind of lifestyle. So she took me to church for deliverance. So in the church, I was staying there in the church, sleeping in the church. I was asked to be doing fasting, like praying and fasting. Bro, I'll fast for some time. I will sneak out to get food, So even in the church, I ran out of the church, and in '98, still in the church, she sent some people to look for me, and when they caught me, they took me straight to her. She said, no, this is too much, that she cannot allow me to continue staying in Lagos. She must take me to the village. So I was taken back to the village. And when I got to the village in 99, I was taken to the village in 1999, yeah. So in the village, I was living with my grandma and my uncles. They were always abusing me, that you Lagos boy, you don't know how to sweep. Lagos boy, you don't know how to wash plates. They were abusing me, using it to abuse me, and I felt bad. I used to feel very bad then. So I started
bad, like in what way?
Like feeling bad that why would they be telling me that as a Lagos boy, I don't know how to sweep. I don't know how to wash plates. I don't know how to do anything. Do you understand? So
Yeah. you felt they had a judgment against
Yes.
people from the city.
City that since you're from the city, you are expected to know so many things. But mine was different. So I felt very bad and started having a rethink, thinking about how I should make my life better, how to impress people. I want to change that perception about me. So I started working. And I was enrolled into the primary school there, primary five, because yeah, I finished my primary five. So I started working for myself to make money. I go to bush to cut firewood, timbers, using machete and axe at a very young age. So I was doing that with my friends in the village too. So when we finish, we sell and we have some money in the pocket to buy some clothes. So we're doing that until I finished my primary school. Then because I was really going through a lot of hardship in the village. Most times I buy clothes for myself, life that I was not used to. I was not used to working and making money for myself. So I started doing that in the village, and it was somehow difficult for me to adapt to that kind of lifestyle. So I started seeing it as a punishment by my mom has decided to punish me. So when I finished with primary school, my mom came to the village and she has a brother. I have an uncle who is we are the same age mates. Yeah, he was born in March, I was born in May, but we were born the same year. So we're friends, we're very close. We do a lot of things together. We fight and we do a whole lot of things together. So my mom came and took him to Lagos. That was when I became so lonely. Though I had friends, but they were not as close to me as he was. So the points in my quiet place, just me, I'll be crying, thinking my mom had tried to punish me. I'm going to surprise everyone. I'm going to make them. But then I was very brilliant as a child. So I continued I left my grandmom. I went to stay with one of my grandmom's brother as my uncle, one of my uncles in another place, in another community. So my mom came and talked to him that they should enroll me into secondary school. I spent like 2 years before I was enrolled into secondary school. So all those things were actually making me to feel unhappy. I felt sad because if I were in Lagos, I wouldn't have wasted those years without going to school. So
you were kept out of school
no,
in the village?
Yes, I did not. When I finished with primary school, I was out of school for 2 years.
Just working?
Yes. So my uncle agreed that they will enroll me to the secondary school in the village where I was with him. So before I was enrolled to the school, my grandmom moved from the village to, we have a fishing port, like a beach in the village. So my grandma went to stay there. I went to stay there with her, and I was also doing fishing. I went to the Atlantic Ocean. We used to go to Atlantic Ocean to catch some fish using nets. So at a point I became a fisherman. And when I went back to my uncle's place to start school, I actually started the secondary school from JS1. When after school, I would go to the bush to set some trap. I became a hunter to set trap. In the morning, I would go check my trap, and so in school I was actually doing well academically, and I finished with my junior secondary school. I finished JSS 3, in the village, and there was this riot in the village between my community and another community. It was so serious that my mom was even scared about me. So she came to the village. No, she came to the village and gave me money that if I'm through with my junior WAEC, I should come to Lagos. So when I finished with my junior WAEC, I traveled back to Lagos. So when I was coming to Lagos, I was scared because one, I was actually doing very well academically in the village, and I was scared that my position there, I used to take first position. My position there, if I come to Lagos, we're a city. We have so many brilliant students in the city that I may not be doing that well again. So I was actually disturbed on that aspect. I wanted to continue maintaining that position. But when I got to Lagos, I was taken to one secondary school, Gaskia College, but they refused to admit me in that school because it's a government school. So my mom had to look for a private school and enrolled me in. And when I started there as a new student, I was doing very well. I became one of the best students in the school. When I graduated as the best graduating commercial student in that school. So when I came to Lagos, all my friends that I used to know then, those bad friends of mine, they've grown so big with beards, so I could not associate with them because I usually feel intimidated whenever I'm among them. So I would say because of what I was going through in the village, it actually reduced my growth when I was in the village. So I did not grow fast. I had a stunt growth because of what I was actually going through. Because when I came to the village, they were all grown. I could not associate with them. And in 2005, some of them, majority of them were caught for robbery, armed robbery. So, and they were killed by the police. They were caught for robbery. They even killed some policemen. Yeah, since then I've not seen them, so I believe they've been killed, according to what I've been hearing. I've not even heard anything about them. Some of them were shot when trying to escape. So
this all happened. Did you hear about this happening?
No, I was in Lagos. So my mom was even telling me not to go out then for them to see me, that they may point at me because I was their friend when we were small. So they may want to use that to wicked me. And I told her they can't do such. That even since I came back to Lagos 2003, that I've not been associating with them. So they can't just point at me. So at that point, when they were arrested and taken.
So they were a group and they were all arrested.
They were arrested
at the same time.
No, they were. Okay. So when I came back from the village to Lagos, my friends they were all grown with beards. I could not associate with them because of their size. Because whenever I'm with them, I feel intimidated. I usually feel intimidated by their height and structure, their stature. So I could not associate with them anymore. I decided to be on my own. No friends. So I started schooling. Whenever I come back from school, I would just be me, just me and me. No one to talk to, no friend. Because it was somehow difficult for me to start having new friends. So I just focused on my books. That was in 2003. So in 2005, most of my friends, those my childhood friends, were arrested for armed robbery that they went to rob a bank, one Unity bank, and some of them were killed, some were arrested. The arrested ones were brought to the community to be pointing at other friends. So they were arrested. So my friends, they were arrested, my childhood friends. So because I was still not happy with my mom for dumping me in the village and allowing me to go through all what I went through. And when I came, my friends are grown and me, I'm still small. So I was not happy with her. So when they arrested my friends, that changed my anger. I started appreciating my mom for taking me to the village. Because had it been she didn't take me to the village, I would have probably been among those my friends that were arrested. So I had been appreciative of what she did by taking me to the village. So that's changed the way I felt about my mom. So I was so appreciative and grateful. And I started my schooling. I was doing well. I actually thought when I was in the village, I was doing well academically. So I thought when I get to Lagos that brilliant students, they won't allow me to do well, like to shine, to people to know that I'm brilliant. But when I got to Lagos, I was actually doing well. When I graduated as the best graduating student in my school. So I started struggling to gain admission, but it was not forthcoming. I thought I was going to become that. I wanted to become an economist, but because I could not gain admission, I was still living in the community, working. I was working as a factory worker. So, and because of what was going on in the community, people were being cheated, police would come and harass people anyhow. So many things were just going on in the community that were not supposed to be. And I was not okay with those things. Though I really don't know much about, I know nothing about the law. So, but I know that the way things were going were not okay. Landlords were not treating their tenants well. You see, landlord will lock up the tenant's door for days for not paying rent, and the tenant will not be able to do anything. Landlord will beat up tenants and nothing. People were just, especially the men, the young guys in the community, they will beat up women and nothing will happen. See wife or boyfriend beating up the girl. Some will even go as far as stabbing the girl. There was a day one guy, I don't want to mention his name, he beat up his girlfriend, the girl fainted. Nobody could talk to him. So many things were just going on that were not supposed to be. And I was not okay with the way things were going. So I started thinking of how I would be able to be defending people, to help them, fight for them. So I started developing passion for law. Because of my passion for defending people, I got into trouble so many times that there was a time a small girl of about 11 years as at then went to fetch water, and somebody she got there before, a man in his 40s, in his late 40s, had chanced her by fetching water before the little girl. The little girl said no. He beat up the little girl, and I challenged him. So he fought with me. We fought, and he used stone to hit me. And that was how I sustained this injury here, this mark here. Another one, a friend of mine, we attended secondary school together, but not the same secondary school. His school is school 2, his school is school 3, mine is school 3, school 2, because it was in the same compound, but different secondary school. So we went out, and some group of guys called him. He went, they collected his phone, and they asked him to go. When he came to meet me where I was standing, he told me that they've collected his phone. I was not okay with it. I told him why. He said he don't know. That he said he should go, that they are not giving. So I was so angry that I went to meet them. I demanded for the phone, they refused. They were threatening to injure me. So I snatched the phone from the guy who was holding the phone. He said I should return the phone. I said no. I returned the phone. I said no. So they were drinking beer. 4 of them were drinking beer. While the rest were playing what? They were playing what? So they started uh, disposing the beer in the bottle, and hit me here on my head with the bottle. The bottle broke and they stabbed me on my lap with it. So my friend ran. I was left alone. So I had to fight. When I had the chance, I ran and came back with some of my friends and we chased them. So many times I've defended people and I end up sustaining injury. So as time went by, my passion changed from studying economics, from becoming an economist to becoming a lawyer. But then there was no money for me to go to university. So and at the same time, I really don't know what to do. I was so confused. I didn't know what to do, where to start from. But I still want to be educated. I want to go to school. Even my friends were even encouraging me that, hey, you were very brilliant when we were in school. Go to university, further your education so that I will not be dull, so that I won't be a waste. That somebody like me should not just stop schooling. So, but because of the money, there was no money. There was nothing I could do. I was working as a factory worker. So, and there was nothing else that I wanted to study apart from law. Nothing else. There was a time when I started making inquiry on the requirement to, if I want to study law, what are the requirements? So I got to know that I need to do literature. I had every other subject. But because I was not an art student when I was in secondary school, so I didn't do literature as a subject in secondary school. So, but because of the passion to study law, I had to buy GCE form. And I registered GCE. I registered for some of these subjects, including literature, which I didn't do, which is a subject that I must do if I want to study law. So I know nothing about literature. I didn't do it. But I bought some literature textbook, and I started reading. I read. I registered for the GCE. I did the GCE and I passed. I did well, including the literature. So I said, now at least I have what it takes if I want to study law now. Just that the money that I'm waiting for. So one day a friend of mine told me about Open University, and if I know anything about it, I said no. So he started telling me what somebody told him about the school. That he wants to go and make inquiry. He wants to buy the form for his younger one. I said, okay, it's fine. That if that's it, provided I can be working and be learning, I really want to. So we went to bought the form. I didn't know he was actually buying the form for himself, but he didn't want to tell me. So we bought the form. We went to the cyber cafe. We were filling the form. So I saw that they have law. I've actually made inquiry. They said that they have the law faculty there. So I applied for law. My friend applied for political science. When we started, I was actually thinking that it's something that, because the way people perceive, the way they see the Open University is that you will just be working and be reading online. And when I got there, I got to know that they actually, for law, they have lecturers for law students, not like other people that you can just read. Because they said law is not like other courses. So we go for lectures, we receive lectures. So that was how I started studying law. And I think I was in 200 level when I used to come to, before the demolition. Yeah, I started studying law. The first demolition was in 2012. There was another one in 2013.
Can we, before we get into demolition, like, what's the, just describe a little more, because, like, from the audience perspective, they don't know about this demolition yet.
Okay.
So if you could just introduce what happened, because I was actually going to ask, like, at what point the demolition happened, and how that, like, where on your journey were you when demolition happened, and like how that developed and changed anything. And before you get that,
Check.
I'm gonna check. It's all good. Put it on airplane mode. I think the problem was before someone called.
Okay.
Okay. So you're saying demolition. So you had just applied to Open University, right? Before demolition.
No.
Okay. So, yeah, where were you? What stage were you at when the demolition threat began?
Okay. In 2012, some Lagos State Task Force came into the community, but it was at the back of my house,
Badia East.
Badia East, and they were setting fire on some houses. Yes, they were setting fire on some houses, and that was how they demolished some part of Badia East. So in 2013, there was another demolition. Lagos State Task Force and some police people came with caterpillar, and they were destroying houses. But it did not affect our building. It did not affect our building. Our building, they demolished, like, they have phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3. So they demolished the whole of phase 1. And our house was just the only, like, I would say, the demolition stops where our house is. I didn't think they continued the demolition. It would have affected us in 2013. So in 2014, that was when I applied to study law in Open University.
And what did the demolition in 2013? You already had a passion where you were seeing these human rights abuses, but did the demolition have an effect on?
Yes, because I started thinking, if this place is demolished, I was so worried about the demolition. I was so worried because I felt it is not normal. That how can government, who are supposed to be, though I really, like I said, I didn't know much about what the law says, but I know that the government have some level of responsibility to protect the citizens. Why should they be the one throwing people out of their houses, making people homeless, making life difficult? So I just know inside me that the demolition was not in line with the law, that things was not just okay. So I felt that maybe some people, some powerful people who want to acquire land, are using the government, are under the disguise of government, to send people out of their home, demolish their houses so that they will acquire the land. That was how I felt, that these people can be dealt with. And it is only lawyers that can deal with people. So that was my thought. So in 2014, I applied to study law in Open University with the mindset that when I finish, I would deal with so many people and I would protect so many people.
It's almost like a revenge strategy.
Yes, like, exactly. Especially the revenge aspect of it was especially on the side of the government for making so many people homeless, including my friend.
You had many friends that were.
Yes, I let out. Yes, good friends. Like, yeah, I had so many friends. So the building were demolished. The mother was old. So life was somehow difficult for them. So many things happened after the demolition that I was not just okay with. So when I started studying, when I gained admission to study law, I started understanding some things about law. Some things when I'm receiving lecture, I started applying it to what is going on in my community. Then I started to understand that so many things are not in order. I started thinking of, as a law student, do I have what it takes to start protecting people? The answer was no. What do I need? I need something that will drive me. I need to start fighting for people. So there was one of my friends who was in the university. He was actually a graduate as at then. He was telling me about activism, school activism, how he was an activist in school, how they used to fight the school authority when school authority are not doing what they are supposed to do. I was like, hey, this is what I want to be. He gave me one book, a book on human rights. The book is titled People's Constitutionalism by CDHR, I think Committee for the Development of Human Rights. So he said I should give him the book back after I read, but I refused to return the book because of how much I love the word activism. I actually wanted to go. I want to go into activism. I want to practice it. I want to know how it is being done. So I started nurturing that in me that one day, okay, maybe we can do that. But in Open University, there's no room for activism. So in 2015, there was another demolition. I was in school when they called me that they are demolishing my community. Before the demolition, they actually brought a notice and they pasted it in the whole of the community. They pasted it in the community. But on that notice, people were, because they now know that I'm studying law, so they believe that I should be able to give them answers as to the meaning of that notice. So when they told me about the notice, I went to the community and I saw the notice, I read it. It was actually a court judgment stating that community, there was a court case. There was a court case between the Ojora royal family and the people of that community, of my community. So the notice was that the court case has been won by Ojora family and not a notice of eviction, So people were panicking, they were not happy, they were worried. Some people were started removing I told them, no, calm down. This is not eviction notice. That was what I was telling people. That this notice only states that this land has been won by Ojora family and not that they want to evict us. So people said, okay, if that is the case, there's no need packing. So I was surprised. The next day, I was in school, they called me that this is what is happening. I was just in my 200 year 2. This is what is happening, that there is demolition going on in my community. It was demolition. So before I came back from school, the whole place was gone. I saw my mom, my siblings outside with our properties. I was like, what's happening? But this is not eviction notice. So I was so angry, but there was nothing I could do. There was actually nothing I could do.
Because everything was
Everything was already gone. In 2013, after the demolition, Megan and Andrew actually were coming into the community to talk to people, to fight for people. Then I think they were under this CERAC. It's a human rights organization, it's an NGO. So I actually love what they were doing, but I truly don't know how to approach them and tell them that I like what they are doing and I want to be part of them. I want to be doing what they are doing. I want to be part of them to see how I can help my community, how I can advocate for my community. That there was no the courage to approach them was not there. So I know that there are people like they actually help the community people, my community people too, and they were paid some compensation, but though the compensation was way too small compared to what they went through. That was the compensation came in 2014. So at that point, when I came back from school to see everywhere, all the houses in the community gone, I sat down. I asked people to take pictures of me. I was in my school uniform. I was in black and white, because that's how we dressed to school. They took pictures, but I actually didn't know what to do with the pictures. I just decided, let me take pictures
to show
that
what had happened. Pictures of you in the
demolition in my white and black, and my school, my bag, books. So
You still have the pictures?
No. Stolen. They stole my tablet where I have the pictures. So at that point, I was so confused. I didn't know what to. I started blaming myself that these people now will start thinking that I don't know what I'm doing. After telling them that the notice is not eviction notice. That was just a day before. And now the whole place is gone. So many people would have saved some things. They would have been able to take some things out of their houses. But because they heed to my advice. So I started blaming myself. I felt useless at that point, that what is the essence of studying law that I can't even defend people? I cannot. I was so confused. So I remember that, hey, I remember Megan and Andrew. It's not as if they were the only one coming, but because they are white, they are white. And when the demolition in 2013 was going on, I saw Megan, the way she was crying when she saw the police beating people for trying to go into their houses to take some things. The way she was crying, I saw the passion to fight for the people in her. Other people were there who were black, but they were not as moved, as touched the way Megan was. So I started thinking, how do I get in touch with these people now? I think at this point, we need people like this to fight for this community. But I didn't see them. I did not even know where to go to, how to look for them, or I was so confused. So one day after the demolition, because I got an apartment, a one-room apartment outside the community before the demolition. So I took my mom and my siblings to be staying with me in that one room. The whole place was congested, it was with their properties and everything. The room became so small that it was not even enough it was not big enough to contain every one of us. Most times I sleep at the balcony.
So you moved from your house in Badia with your mother and sisters to Amokoko?
Yes.
In a small apartment?
Yes, a one-room apartment. So I continued going to school, but I was discouraged anyway. I felt like stop schooling because I could not do anything to prevent that eviction. So something inside of me kept telling me that I shouldn't give up. I shouldn't give up. So I heard that there was going to be a meeting between the community people and Lagos State government at Alausa. I should continue. That there was going to be a meeting between the community people and the Lagos State government at Alausa. So my friends in the community and some other people that know me to be a law student were even encouraging me to go for the meeting. I didn't even know about the meeting. They were the one that told me because I no longer stay in the community. The whole place has been demolished, but so many people refused to leave, so they were just still hanging around.
Under tarpaulin? Or?
Yes, tarpaulin. They were still living there using tarpaulin as a shade. So they were the one that called me on phone to one of my friends in the community that, hey, I would want you as a law student to be there in the meeting. I did not even have money to transport myself to Alausa, Ikeja. The whole thing was just confusing and I was not happy with myself. I just managed to, meet one or two people. I was able to raise small amounts of money and me and that my friend, we had to lap ourselves to Alausa. On getting there, the meeting could not even go well because the community people, some of them, they have two factions. Megan, there I met Megan. I saw Megan there. Some were with Megan, while some were with another organization. So they've divided themselves. So there was an issue between the two factions. The meeting could not go on. So after the meeting, I now approached Megan and I asked of Andrew. Andrew was not in the meeting. So Andrew has been coming to the community. I said, no, I've not been seeing Andrew for some time now. He said, does it mean that I'm not in the community? I said, I'm in the community. He said, how come I've not been seeing him? I said, well, I've not been around for some time now. Where have you been? I said, I've been schooling. She said, okay. Which school? I told her, what are you studying? I said, law. So I saw the expression in her face that she was very happy that I was studying law, a law student from Badia East. Wow, that was cool. I saw the expression in her face. So she asked me if I don't mind working with them. In my mind, this is something that I've been praying for. This will give me an opportunity to at least defend my people before I became a lawyer. So I said that I don't mind. So she gave me the address of the office. The next day, I went there. They were actually doing paralegal training. It was on Thursday. So the next day was Friday. I went there and I met them. She said if I don't mind to join the training, if I don't mind. I said no, that I want it. So I joined them during the training. First day, yeah, that was the last day of the training for that month. I think that was in November 2015. So the last Friday for November for the training. So I joined them. At the end of the training, she told me that they've already gone far in the training. That if I will wait for this set to finish the training, then if they want to start a fresh one, I'll join them. I said no, that I don't want to wait, that if I can get the materials So they also explained that they do quiz at the end of each of the courses. That if I can get the materials, I will read the materials, come for the quizzes, right? If I pass, I continue.
So we can continue. So you were saying, just so we can get the flow, let's go back to when you go to Alausa in this meeting and you meet Megan.
Okay.
And then when you get into her saying you need to come, bring a female, say like, I want to know who Joy was at that point to you, how you knew her.
Okay. So, because of the disagreement between the two factions at Alausa, the meeting could not continue. So they were asked to go and settle their differences and come back for the meeting. So after the meeting, I met with Megan and I asked her of Andrew. She said that Andrew is fine, that Andrew has been coming to the community. I said I've not been seeing him for some time now. She asked me, does it mean I was not in the community? Where was I? I said school. She said, oh, you're in school? I said yes. Which school? I told her the name of my school. What am I studying? I told her I'm studying law. She asked me what year am I now? I told her. She was happy and she asked me if I don't mind. I was her exact word, if I don't mind working with them. I said no, that I don't mind. Actually, deep down my heart, I was very happy because I was actually looking for an opportunity to work with an NGO, a human rights organization specifically, where I will have the opportunity to at least assist the people, the poor people in my community. So I said no, that it's fine, I really want to. And to also help me in my study of law. So the next day, which happens to be Friday, I went to JI office and I met some group of people receiving lecture. Megan said I should join them. I said okay, I joined them for the training. And after the training, she told me that she explained the whole thing to me about paralegal and that I should wait till they finish this set because they were already in their third month. That was the last month. That was the last day for the second month. So they were entering into the third month. That if I can wait for them to finish so I can join the new set. I said no. That if I can get the materials, I'll go through the materials, come for the quizzes. If I pass the quizzes, then I should be allowed to continue with them. She said if I can do that would be great. So she said I should meet with Barrister Shola, who was the lawyer training the paralegals then. So I met her, she gave me some of the materials. And Megan said that if I can come with a female for the training, that would be very wonderful. So I asked her if the person must be a law student. So she said no, it doesn't necessarily need to be a law student, provided I come with a female. So back then in school, I have this friend of mine who we usually do things together. We read together, we study a lot together. Her name is Joy. So, and she also has that passion for defending people, to fight for people.
How did you notice that passion?
There was a time we went out to study. We went to National Arts Theatre to study. So as we were studying, I saw a little girl crying and crying seriously. I called her. The girl should be around 9-10 years. Why are you crying? She said some group of guys collected her 500 naira. So I said where? She pointed towards the direction of where those guys were. So I was furious. I was not happy. At the same time, I I didn't want Joy to see the other side of me, like fighting, because I at that point studying law, I was actually trying to like remold my life to be a gentleman. So, but I could not hold myself. I didn't know that she too was worried, but she didn't know what to do to help the little girl. So I told her that I'm coming. I didn't tell her where I was going to, but she knew. I told her I'm coming. I told the girl to take me to where they collected her 500 naira. So we got there. I met those guys and we discussed and they refunded the girl's money. I gave her. So I met with those guys. After a while, they gave me the 500 naira.
How'd you get the naira back?
We're talking. I didn't want to fight, so I just tactically and logically talked to them, making them to see the reason that this girl is just too small, that could be this she's old enough to be any of their daughter, you know. I just logically talked to them and they gave me the money. I handed the 500 naira over to the girl. Joy was very happy. I didn't know. So when there was a day she told me about it, that she too was equally disturbed, but she didn't know what to do. She was scared because those guys are bad guys. She didn't want to go and involve herself and get into trouble, some kind of trouble. That when I went to with the girl, she was moved. She was really touched. So and in school, she's been, you know, defending people, fight for people, not physical fight, but you know, kind of trying to defend people, talk on behalf. She doesn't like cheating, so I know she has the same passion with me. So we became friends, and our friendship continued to grow strong. So
Well, then Megan asked you to bring a
Some-
girl.
I didn't think twice. When Megan asked me to bring a female, I didn't think twice on who to bring. My mind went straight to Joy. So when I got home, she's been calling me on that particular day to know where are you? I've not seen you today. You did not come to school. I said I went somewhere. That when I return, I will brief her. So when I got home, I went straight. I didn't even get home. I went straight to her place and I briefed her about it. I showed her the material, and this is the material that they said I should come with a female, and I want you to go with me if you don't mind. She was happy, very happy too. So it's like I came with so many materials. So she will be with one, I will be with some. We'll be reading different materials. When she's through with that one, we exchange. So that was how we read the material, preparing ourselves for the next training. So the next training, we went for the next training. We wrote the quizzes and we passed. The both of us, we passed. So we continue with the training. That was how we finished the training and we were certified as paralegals. That was how we started working with JI as paralegals.
So this side of you, let's check this thing.
It's still on.
This side of you that was cultivated before, like when you were young, Badia East, this fighting side, and like, where is it now? Is it still inside? And it's just like, how does it appear now? Do you think that in any ways that side yeah, like has it helped? Does it help you at all in your work, or
Well,
like
it's
how do you?
it's I would say it's something that cannot leave me.
Sorry, when you are answering this question,
Okay.
say
Okay, I understand.
yeah.
Uh, you see the other side, the the other side of me, it's something I would say it can't go. It can't leave me. But what I do now is to try to make good use of it. I cannot imagine myself at this point engaging in physical combat with somebody. Do you know, I can't imagine myself. I wouldn't even want to. I know some situations may warrant you to do that. Or at times, you won't even know when you start fighting. But I try as much as I can not to engage in any physical combat with anybody. So what I do now, if I find myself in a situation whereby in a rough situation, like at times in the course of our work we go to communities, different communities. Some of the touts in the communities, they want to harass. I I use that is when the other side of me want to come into play, but I try as much as I can to calm it and see how I can use it instead of fighting. Use their language, because there is a common language that is used among street guys. So I find myself using the language to talk to their conscience, to like make them change their mind instead of me fighting. And it has really worked. At times it will work, at times it will not work. And
Is there any like story that sticks out in your mind of in the course of your work as a paralegal? You are really challenged to keep your hands down and not like a big part of you wants to snap, but an example of like that technique of using language, logic, reasoning, the language you're talking about.
yes, a whole lot of time, you know. The most, I would say the most recent one, no, not the recent one, but the one that there was a time we went to Ajegule Ikorodu, the KYC TV. We went there for an interview to interview Bimbo. So on our way home, we boarded the bus. The bus driver said 100 naira. We said 50 naira. That's it's usually 50 naira. Even Bimbo was there. Bimbo, who lives there, told the conductor and the driver that it's 50 naira. They said, okay, we should enter. When we entered, at the point of collecting money, they collected money and refused to give us change. That it's 100 naira. And even when he wanted to give us the change, he still retained some of our money. Probably because he felt that we were putting on a KYC TV t-shirt, that these people are probably from an organization and they may not want to, they have a lot of money, because that is usually their perception, their belief. So I demanded for the change. James Taylor was with us. He refused to give change. So when we alighted from the bus, I said, where is the change? He said he's not giving us change. I was at that point, I was so angry that I wanted to lose, but I did not. Where is the change? He said I should get out and I should leave his presence. I should get out from his face. He entered the bus and the driver zoomed off. I didn't even know when I held onto the bus and I hung at the back. The bus was going.
Standing on the back.
At the back, yes, holding on to it as if what we used to see in these action movies. the bus was going. So some of the KYCB guys were, hey, Mr. Freddy. So they were chasing the bus. So because I was at the back, the driver now saw me and stopped. When he stopped, I came down. I helped the conductor that, hey, give me the money. He said, hey, it's going to injure me. He came down, he went and he was looking for something to injure me with. I was angry. I almost fought him. I would have injured him. He went and brought plank. He's going to hit me with this plank. You know the way these style people used to be. He was demonstrating that he will hit me. He will hit me with it. I was not moved. Even when the KYCT boys they wanted to attack him, I told them no, they shouldn't. They shouldn't. They should just leave him, me and him. I want to see what he's going to do. Though I was ready not to, if he had wanted to hit me with the plank, I would have defended myself, but I didn't want to attack him. He was just ranting, running up and there, looking for bottle to stab me, but I didn't move. At last, he now calmed down and he gave me the change. The driver to apologize to me and we left.
Very well. So, now, like, I guess, how do you see, like, your relationship with Joy? And, like, how does the element of advocacy bring you together? Or, like, what role does that play? I know, like, as people outside of advocacy, you are compatible, but, like, how does you both being passionate about human rights and advocating in your community, and how does that, the last question, how does that aspect affect your relationship or kind of bring you closer? That's all.
You see, I have many friends because in school, the truth is, I have so many people who want to associate with me. I don't know why, but I think because of my performance in school. I have so many people we read together too, but I have this feeling for Joy because of the passion she has in human rights, in defending people. Even when we were choosing, because there was a time we were to choose between human rights and environmental law. I mean, in school, I choose human rights, she choose human rights. Most of our classmates, they choose environmental law. So, because of the way and when we are talking, she talk on how she always wants to be defending people, which is the main reason why she decided to study law. Unlike there was one of our lecturers when we were in year one who took us we went to a law firm for excursion and we were being interviewed one after the other. Joy and I were the only people that decided to study law because we want to defend people because of what is happening in society that are not okay. So at that we started having that connection that since we have the same thing in common, we have the same passion. That was how we started connecting, and eventually we started dating.
So now, as a husband and wife, like, does it make your relationship stronger? You feel having this like shared passion?
Having the same passion actually made the relationship to be stronger to the point that we decided to get married. And now that we are married, it's fine. I am happy because I am married to somebody who has the same passion with me, who wants the same thing with me. Not somebody who like oppose whatever I want to do. But if I want to do anything that has to do with like what I have passion for, she is always there, and we are always there to support and assist each other.
I think we have a lot. I think we have enough. Is there anything else you want to add?
Not really.
We have a lot. It's a great story. We need to make another movie.